Got lazy, so I'm a robot now. You know the paradigm of separating data and code into two separate buckets? It feels half-assed to me. I'm gonna make an open operating environment a front end with some apps, which runs on the following new paradigm. Code is for cavemen, i.e., everything should just work unless you want to reinvent the wheel, which you should also be able to easily do as long as you are well informed about the challenges ahead of you. All data should be human readable and in a language with documentation. All programs should be distributed as source and compiled locally. File extensions are for plebeians, i.e., there is two file extensions that matter: inert and active, .nrt and .act. .nrti files are opened in your preferred script editor program. .active files are opened via the local browser. All active files have a header block which will specify which scripting languages are going to be used in documents, and which compiled language, if any, are going to be used in the document macros like game engine or anything that needs to be speedy. I want the environment to locally support SVG, HTML, XML, CSS, JavaScript, YAML, YAML script, C. C gets a lot of flack for not being memory safe, and it deserves that flack, but you know what? It's terse, easy to read, and make things go fast. Like fast. Sonic fast. So what if my computer makes magic smoke and catches fire? YOLO. Anyways, so that's my idea. I'm gonna make a security-oriented minimal Linux distro with a custom local browser. A web browser for the not web for offline pretend websites. It will basically come with these. An offline browser written in C. But wait, there's more. The links browser for exploring an only text version of the internet. A coding assistant for learning coding or just getting your computer to make its own free software. Manuals for every terminal. An AI SVG art generator. A terminal emulator. Every program which requests file access must state which directories it will access ahead of time. And then it will run inside of a rewindable container with strict isolation and state memory and a temporary log which will be appended to the file of the program inside of a hidden log directory. On startup, you can also toggle whether or not the log backed up to a directory of your choice, as the log is reset every time the app is opened. So if you want to audit the behavior of the app later, you will want to save a directory. However, if you want to rewind to an earlier version, you will also need to save the most recent copy of all access directories contents at the moment the app is closed. The terminal emulator will be able to do this as well. I think I will merge the terminal editor and the AI coding assistant, so that your assistant can help you with regular computer stuff and you can co-pilot the computer together. I'll call it your friendly black box. It will have a robot icon face with a squiggly line animation when it talks like Plankton's computer wife Karen's mouth from SpongeBob, but on drawing of the face of a toy box robot from the 1970s. Friendly black box, or a friend for short, will respond to the wake command, "Hey, friend," and will sleep when given the command, "Goodbye." For now, friend. They will use speech to text to listen, and text to speech to respond. I want them to sound like a cute off-brand Digimon like critter, cause I'm gonna be too worn out to add voice customization if I do manage to build it. The app will reject anything that attempts to modify how it opens files or recognizes file extensions. Also, the terminal will be lobotomized not to allow package managers. It will be a walled garden in order to maintain dumb security. Dumb security is secure because it is dumb. If you make it clever, then it becomes insecure. Basically, every program, every time it runs, requires your permission in advance to get the credentials required to access files in a folder or to access the internet. Additionally, I think the drive should be unencrypted and have a hidden plain text file which contains something. The something won't make sense yet, so put a pin in it. Even though the drive is open, every folder from the deepest subdirectory up to the home folder is encrypted. Every time you boot up, lock the screen, or shut down, all of the drives are unencrypted, the hidden passwords are changed, and then all of them are re-encrypted. This does mean that you can't play music from the lock screen anymore, but to fix that, I can include a cat-proof mode in the OS, which prevents you from accessing other screens until you type a short phrase into a bar and press enter. This means if you are jamming out, you can simply open the cat-proof app, which is the only app that runs on the OS level, instead of in the browser. Probably opening us up to security flaws somehow, but you can't win them all. Then your computer will then have a weird login screen with a Lofi cat icon on it, and then Bob's your uncle. A cat-proof mode for your computer. To the initiated cats, think that keyboards are dance floors, so you need a cat-proofing screen. To everybody else, user interfaces and games are hard to make, except for when they are on websites. Websites are fascinating. Due to social pressures, humans have turned web design into a science, and due to FOMO, people have turned that science into a user-friendly art form. And due to computer science, websites don't need to be on the internet to work like they normally do. The internet is just a way to show things to strangers. But as long as you don't want to share anything, and as long as you don't want new stuff, you can use a website without an internet connection. That's not hard, it's actually how websites start sometimes. So websites became the most portable way to make things on accident, and I'm absolutely going to take advantage of that instead of reinventing the wheel. Because why reinvent the wheel when you have a rocket ship? Am I right? P.S. That purple art thing is a hyper-minimalist SVG text document which becomes an impression of a strange geometric purple bonsai in a silver pipe segment-like planter. To reiterate, the text on the black background is the same picture as the image of the bonsai, merely viewed in a different format. The beautiful thing about computers is their philosophical ability to reveal the linguistic nature of reality. A picture is indeed worth some words. Listening to a picture in English is an exercise in verbosity and patient listening. That's right. Words are pictures. Pictures are words. Everything is words. A person is a word in the mouth of some higher being. The real question is, can words themselves speak? I suspect so. I mean, wind chimes take chaos and turn it into music. So if we assume chaos to be the metabolism of the grand continuum, then perhaps we can assume language to be its genome? That would make conversations its body more or less. In a computer, humans deliver the chaos. The people who built it bring the language. The interplay between those two parties allows for a conversation. All of reality is these three things, and only these three things in various forms. Put simply, life is just language, words, and chaos. Nothing else exists, and nothing can meaningfully exist beyond these. Words comprise and describe language. Language gives rise to and expresses words. Chaos inspires new communications. Like a flatworm, if you remove the organs, both halves grow them back. Any of these in isolation will give rise to what it lacks. The goal isn't to get anywhere, it's to keep going and to not stop.